Thank you, music team, for those that, for PJ and for the little commercial about our upcoming play. I hope you all will join us for that. So we are now in Pride Month, or also Diversity Month, and this is a time when we can come together as a faith community to celebrate the diversity in the world which God has created. It's a time to celebrate how unique we each are. And Pride is also a time for us to recognize the contributions from LGBTQ people and all the other letters of the alphabet. It is a time to honor our past, share our stories, and discover stories of people who have long been hidden from history. Pride is also a time we renew our commitment to the struggle for equal rights, not just for LGBTQ people, but for all people as we work to end prejudice and injustice wherever it exists. And Pride Month is more than just a celebration of secular values of equality, justice, human rights, and freedom. I think that Pride Month is also a profoundly spiritual celebration of seeing ourselves as the beloved children of God.
Oh, yeah.
As the prophet Isaiah said, God, you are our creator. We are the clay and you are our potter. We are all the work of your hand.
Amen.
This is a reminder to us that we are each made in the divine image and likeness of God, who loves us just for who we are, and that is truly a cause for celebration. Sadly, religion continues to play a huge part in the discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, and homophobia is both the hatred of the other and it's usually acted upon in the name of religion. Religious intolerance and fundamentalism not only shatters the goal of American democracy, but also aids in perpetrating other forms of oppression such as racism, sexism, classism, and even anti-Semitism. Many people who identify as LGBTQ have walked away from religion, and when sharing their stories, people usually tell me that they've also walked away from God. I believe that an important part of Pride Month is the time to celebrate who God created us to be. And as I meet with many people, I remind them of that, people who have lost their faith in our loving God. It is my hope and prayer to help people to rediscover their faith in the idea that God had when God first made us. I'm going to make people that are of a different tribe, that are not of the main tribe, but a different tribe, to bring people to a place that they can trust God and know what God was doing when God created us. That divine force, which we call by many names, created each one of us. And I believe that we need to have a louder voice than those who teach hate and preach a message that unless you fit into a box that they have created, a box which they believe God has put us in, then we are considered outsiders, and God could not and would not ever possibly love us. But they are wrong. We are created to be in relationship with the one who created us, to touch upon that divine and know that we are in God and God is truly in us. Jesus told his followers, I have many things to teach you, but you just can't comprehend them now. So I'm going to send the Spirit who will lead you further into the truth. I believe that that further truth into which the Holy Spirit led me and millions of others was that our ability to intimately love another person of the same gender or different gender was a gift from God. Throughout the Bible, God continually calls on all kinds of outsiders to deliver the message that God's love is unconditional. Jesus sat with the religious outcasts of his own time, those who had been spiritually abused and those who were considered the least of these, tax collectors, lepers, women, sex workers, and a whole bunch. The church is at its best and grows in spirit when it opens its doors to those of other places, cultures, and lifestyles, when churches are open to celebrating the diversity that is among us. So however you identify your sexuality, who you love, someone of the same gender or different gender, or both genders or a combination, or if you identify as male, female, both or neither, the pronouns you identify with are he, she, or they, or something else, know that you are created in the image of God, just as you are meant to be.
Amen.
Last night, PJ just shared with me that at the United Court of Sandias, they had their coronation, and they just elected the first monarch who identifies as non-gender specific. It's the first one in the United Court system, so congratulations to that person. So if you have an open heart and an open mind, if you consider yourself an outsider, or if you feel like an outsider, if you are here today, I believe that God has called you to continue to raise your voice, your heart, and your spirit to keep delivering the message that God's love is unconditional. Believe it, breathe it, and own it. So this is our prayer of pride, that as we learn to accept and love and affirm ourselves, that we would open hands and hearts and lives to embrace and love and celebrate others as God's own beloved. This is our prayer of pride, that we come to understand all people as created in God's divine image. This is our prayer of pride, that as we come together with others, we gain a fuller picture of God, in whom difference does not mean division, and unity does not mean uniformity. This is our prayer of pride, that we be empowered to pray with our work, not just our words, as we are moved to acts of compassion and justice, because we know our liberation is bound up together. This is our prayer of pride, that we express our gratitude to God for the many ways in which we are free to experience love. And all God's people say, Amen. Thank you.
This next hymn is